Welcome to this year's edition of Warrior Weekly. A little time off over the holiday break, but we're back. Assistant Athletic Director Travis Whipple here, and a new studio also for Warrior Weekly. Travis, let's start off with women's basketball. They come off a split this past weekend. They were defeated by Crookston, but came back strong against Moorhead. Crookston, that game, Abby Bush had a career-high 20 points, so a fairly good weekend for the women.
Yeah, I mean, any night in the NSIC, you're going to get the opponent's best effort. And, Crookston shot 50% during the game. And, just one of those situations where you get behind a little bit, and it's a real struggle to come back. But I love the way they bounced back the next night and came out and played really well against MSU Moorhead.
We look at that Moorhead game now, and they came out and they welcome back Mariana Dulas. She comes off a knee injury, knee surgery. Looks like she's back to her prime performance. She had double figures, scored 13 points against Moorhead, and you look at a few other bright spots. Michelle McDonald once again with her 5th double-double of the season. Yeah,
she's a double-double machine. And going back to Dulas, I think just a great calming presence for this team, a good ball handler, and somebody who's going to shoot the basketball well. I think somebody they really missed, but got some experience from other student athletes when she was out.
Beth Elberson also had 19 points, her career high. She had 12 of those 19 in the first half, but now here comes the real test, heading out to Wayne State and Augustana. Wayne State ranked 7th in the nation, and Augustana just recently dropped out of the top 25, so I think this really is the heart of their away schedule.
Yeah, huge away weekend. We say it every night. It's tough in the NSIC, especially when you're going on the road, but a Wayne team that is very good and big, play some zone, and then Augustana, a team that can really run up and down and put up a lot of points and a lot of shooters too. So kind of different styles this weekend. Should be a real fun road weekend for the women as well as the men.
Transition now to the men's games as they took on Crookston and Moorhead as well. Slow first half against Crookston, only leading by 4 at the half, but exploded for 63 points in that second half and defeated Crookston 108-68 by 40 points.
They've got spurtability, that's for sure, and I think any good team can really go on some runs, and I think it's a matter of this team finding their rhythm, finding their groove, kind of weathering the storm, so to speak, in tough games, but really played well in that second half. And I think Caleb Pelkert's somebody who's really come along, a nice defensive presence, and his offensive game just continues to come along, but a high energy type guy, always around the ball, so I think some good things happening there, and a very difficult loss the next night, but a real good chance this weekend to rebound and get back on track.
Yeah, certainly, and not an easy place to head out to, going to Nebraska, then up to South Dakota. A little harder from the women's schedule, but the men, they have 7 of their last 11 games are on the road, so this is really the most important stretch of their season.
Absolutely. It starts to become a grind, and you'll see practice times get a little bit shorter, and you want to keep both the men and the women fresh. And it's a difficult stretch. It's going to be a nice test to see both of our teams and how they can respond to that and move on here as we near closer to the postseason.
We now move on to track and field. They kind of have been getting going here slowly but surely. I know it's the winter months. Their indoor season has been pretty good so far, and this past weekend, actually just today, NSIC Women's Field Athlete of the Week, Mary Thiessen, named that team once again. So they've always had some strong field athletes, and their throwers are really second to none in the NSIC.
Outstanding throwers. They were well represented last year at the NCAA Championships, and Mary went out there and performed very well. But great to see her becoming Field Athlete of the Week again. And I think a real exciting opportunity here is, again, as we move closer to the spring, we'll have some home meets again with our new track and field, and so just always exciting times with women's track and field.
Gymnastics also had a big win just last night over lacrosse. Lacrosse and Winona State, both Division III programs. Lacrosse comes in at number 3, Winona State at number 10, and what a big night here, in Talbot Gym for Winona State Gymnastics to defeat really a well-known program like lacrosse.
They're outstanding, and it was a great atmosphere. I think you come out to Talbot Gym and it's packed and it's loud and really a neat environment. But I look back, I think a week and a half ago when they had a home meet, did Winona State, and Coach they got beat. But Coach Rebecki said we tried some things that maybe we shouldn't have, but it's going to pay off down the road. And then you see them hit the routines last night. Phenomenal effort. A really big win for the program.
Yeah, Heather Rumline won the overall title just last night against La Crosse, so certainly they're off on the right track after losing to La Crosse, or losing to Eau Claire. They defeat La Crosse. Great and a big win for them here at Talbot. That gym was very packed. And now baseball, I know it's hard to think about baseball in January, but the Warrior team slated as number 2 in the preseason coaches poll, right behind a very talented Mankato program.
They had a great finish to last season, and was fortunate enough to travel out with the team out to New Mexico, and we participated in that regional tournament. And this is a hungry group of guys. They got out there, they got a taste of that championship experience, and they absolutely want to get back. So I think it's a deserving honor to be preseason second, and Coach Polk will be the first to tell you. Now we got to go prove it on the field, and they're excited. Some of their games got moved from the Dome down to Southern Illinois because of that whole collapse, but they're really excited for the beginning of their season.
Yeah, very good season. They welcome back a lot of depth. Tony Mueller among many of the names, Jared Anderson, all those guys certainly adding to that prominent program at number 2 in the preseason. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Warrior Weekly. We'll see you next week.